So my collection's a mess right now. I went through looking for Spooktober games and didn't bother to put things back. And now I'm preparing for an upcoming work trip, and I have not come down and dedicated any time to rearranging and fixing things. So it's in a bit of shambles, and there's like a part of me that's really anxious at how disorganized it all is behind me. I did the microphone on the hat again. It seemed to work well last time. But yeah, I need a week where nothing is happening and I can just focus on playing video games and putting games away. I left a gap right there. A gap. Oh, I know what it is. It's the bunker. I plan on playing this Spooktober. But yeah. Ah! All right, so what am I playing this week? Well, let's start. This is the Spooktober stuff in the beginning. Let's start with the thing that I've finished, Nightbook for the PlayStation 4. Again, I was playing it on the PlayStation 5. So, for those who might not remember, just a real recap, Nightbook is it's a full motion video game from Wales Interactive, played over the course of an evening as a woman who is an interpreter comes face to face with a demonic presence that has taken over her father, her sickly father. It's basically an interactive movie. That's what full motion video games are. Its central gimmick is that you're actually interacting, or maybe you're not really interacting, you're kind of more viewing the whole events through the security cameras in her home and looking at her computer. The game is only about an hour long. It's fairly short, but it has a dozen endings. And I have since last week gone through and completed them all. I have seen all the endings. I'm missing a couple of trophies, but I have to be honest, I'm not sure I care enough to go back and get them. I need to check to see if there's a platinum. If there's a platinum, then yeah, I'll go look at a guide and see what I'm missing. Because apparently I missed out. A lot of the trophies, you don't get trophies for completing the game, or at least you don't get trophies for each of the unique endings. There might have been a trophy when I first completed the game, I don't recall. But the trophies tend to come throughout the game, like as different stuff happens and you make different decisions. And apparently I have not made enough different decisions and really solidified all of the different trophies. So I if there's a platinum and it's super easy, I might go back and do it. But for the most part, I would say I'm done. I guess my final thoughts on it. I think I mentioned last time that this was an okay full motion video. It wasn't. I've played some other stuff that Wales Interactive has published, and some of their stuff is really good. This is not terrible, but it's also not really good. It's kind of just mediocre. The acting is fine. It's okay. The guy who plays the father kind of hams it up a little bit too much for my taste. Gives it a real B-movie vibe. which might have been what they were going for, but I don't know. It's almost like he tried to not be B-movie and wound up being a B-movie, and I don't know, it just changed the vibe, and I just, it wasn't, it's fun if it's a B-movie that's intentionally a B-movie, but when you're really earnestly trying not to make it a B-movie and it winds up being a B-movie, it's kind of hit or miss. But yeah, I liked it. It was fun. I'm not going to say that it's something I thoroughly recommend. I feel that there's better Wales Interactive games to recommend. But if you're really, really jonesing for a horror FMV in the year 2023, your options are fairly limited. And this is one of them. So, yeah, gotta figure how much you really want to play something like this before you decide. But yeah, no, I had fun. It was a good game. I'm ready to put it on the shelf. Nightbook. It's okay. All right, so what's the next Spooktober game? The next one is something that has actually been on my in my backlog for a while, and it's one of these games that I got a while ago, and I was like, oh man, I really want to play this. This is my jam. But then I kind of forgot about it, and then I periodically will remember it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should play that, and then I forget about it again. And I don't know why. It's like almost like there's a blind spot in my memory for this game. But I remembered it, and it's a horror game, and I'm playing it now, and that is Signalis. I am playing the Switch version of it. I think it's for other platforms, though. I think you can... I'm sure it's on PC, but it's probably also on like the PlayStation, the Xbox, so you can play it wherever you want, I believe. But what is Signalis? So first of all, it's horror game, and it's published by Humble Games. So it's one of the Humble Games published titles that they've put out. It's kind of sci-fi horror. It kind of has I don't know, a little bit of Alien Isolation vibe to it. Not so much because there's aliens in it, because there's not, but more because in Alien Isolation you had all those what were those robots called? The androids that were kind of creepy. I forget what they're called. But whatever those were, this game has a lot of like android, like biological, biomechanical machine humanoids that are infected with something and act very almost zombie-like that you have to fight. And it's science fiction, takes place at some point in the future, and there's a seemingly fascist society, although I'm not entirely certain what the extent of it is. It's very much a dystopian future with a government that is very oppressive and practices double speak and edits the language when something is considered subversive and is potentially problematic. They will actually remove it from the language. That sort of dystopian future, sci-fi future stuff. And you play as I believe you're one of the androids, but it's not entirely clear. What's really not clear yet is whether or not the androids are like purely built from nothing, or if they start from basic genetic material, or even if they start from another human and adapt the human, or if somebody's memories and stuff is used to like bootstrap the androids. That sort of stuff isn't clear. But you play as one of these androids, and you are coming to this facility that's presumably in space. I don't remember if they've said explicitly where this is. And you're looking for somebody, but your motivation and your backstory is not really clear. And as you are searching through this facility, you have found that the facility is overrun with these androids that have kind of gone crazy and are acting zombie-like. and you have to fight them, and you have to explore, and you have to solve puzzles, and you have to try to figure out what went wrong. I'm not too far into the game right now. I've only recently just finished the first boss, but that's basically the story so far. The game has kind of a retro aesthetic, kind of looks almost like a PlayStation 1 era game, with the graphics, kind of this low fidelity, polygonal 3D environment. But it's really fun, and it's really has a real interesting look to it. I'm enjoying it a lot. It really is. I enjoyed Alan Wake. Alan Wake was a really fun game, but it's kind of hard to say that it is strictly a horror game. It's kind of more thriller. It definitely has horror elements, but it's not like a traditional horror game. Signalis is a traditional horror game. This is very traditional as far as horror games are concerned. And it is undeniably scratching that Spooktober itch. So I'm really getting into it. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's got a lot of puzzles. It's got a lot of exploration that you have to do. And it's a blast. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what else to say. Signalis. I'm playing it on the Switch. Good stuff. So, what's the next game? Well, I'm still playing Little Nightmares. I'm playing this on Steam. I haven't put in that much time in it since last week. I've maybe put in another hour. So I don't have too much more to say about it. In fact, I'll probably just quickly go through this and move on to the next title. But I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot further than I did the first time. But I have a feeling that I'm getting near the end. And then I can move on to Little Nightmares 2. But, like I said, I have not put in a ton of time into it this last week, so I don't have much else to say. All right, so the last two games are not Spooktober games. These are just normal games. And they're both Vampire Survivors clones. Well, one of them is Vampire Survivors. The other one is a clone. And they're both stuff that I've talked about before. First one is Vampire Survivors on the Switch. I'm still playing it. It's a lot of fun. I don't need to sell Vampire Survivors. I've talked about it enough on this channel, and there's a lot of other people who talk about it on their channels, that if you've had any exposure to it, it's probably been through somebody telling you it's really good. So I don't feel like I need to tell you it's really good anymore. But I will say that the Switch port is pretty amazing, and it's very quickly become my favorite place to play it. I've spent some more time unlocking more things. I gotta be honest, I don't really remember what I've done on the Switch. I think I just recently unlocked the tower level, but I don't think I've actually finished the tower level. That one gets a little bit hectic, and I don't know, until you start unlocking more of the skills and more of the stats, the stat boosts that you can get in the in the unlocks menu. Not in the unlocks. I forget what it is. There's like a section in the main menu that you can go into, and you can up your might and up your reduce the cooldown for your attacks, that sort of stuff. And really, until you start unlocking all that stuff, some of the harder endgame things are kind of too hard to do. Which is that's by design. But the point is that I don't think I've finished the tower. I think I need to farm a bit more and unlock more of the stats. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I'm absolutely loving it on the Switch. And the last game that I want to talk about is Time Wasters, which I've mentioned before. It's another Vampire Survivors clone. It's one that kind of has a space aesthetic to it, almost like an asteroids aesthetic to it. They recently came out with another patch that added a new character, and I've spent some time playing that. I haven't actually beat the new characters, all of the characters' challenges, but it's going to take me a little bit to do that. But no, I'm still having a blast with Time Wasters. I need to check. I have a feeling that it's now leaving early access. It feels like it's a very finished game at this point. And it might be out of early access. I don't know. I haven't double checked. But it's a great game. And if you have a PC or if you have a Steam Deck, it's definitely one to check out. It's a blast. This came this week. It actually came yesterday, the time of this recording. I'm excited to play this one. This one is a preview of coming attraction. In fact, two previews. I already mentioned the bunker at the top. These are two games that I'm going to be playing pretty soon for Spooktober. This one I'm really excited for, probably too excited for, considering that it's... I mean, let's face it, the first Daymare was kind of crap, but it was fun crap. This is probably going to be more crap. But my expectation is higher than it probably is appropriate. This one is another Wales Interactive. And wait, is it a Wales? Yeah, Wales Interactive full motion video game. And I kind of forgot that this was a horror game until I was going through and I was like, I really want more horror games on the Switch. And I'm like, I probably have more horror games on the Switch because I've got so many. I just need to go through and kind of refresh my memory. So yeah, these are ones that are coming up. Preview of coming attractions. But yeah, I got nothing else. Got a Weird Al shirt. Went and saw his ridiculous small venue tour, whatever that was. It was a while ago. It was probably like 6 months ago. It's been a bit. But the shirt, like, it was at the bottom of a drawer, and I forgot about it. So this is the first time I wore the shirt. Anyway, that's it. I got nothing else. See ya.